I felt lighter. I was more outspoken. I wasn't healed by any means, but something had shifted within me.
Yeah.
That was the one aspect. Second one was my last ex-boyfriend before I met my husband.
You're listening to Spicy Bananas podcast, where nothing's off limits and everything's worth talking about, especially when it comes to intimacy, healing, and getting the real about the messy stuff.
Well, let's get to it. So this is, we're your hosts. That's B1 and I'm B2. Two mates who've had more awkward convos than most therapists. And today's guest is here to help us unpack something we don't talk about nearly enough, and that's intimacy after trauma.
Well, today's guest is Sandra Cooze, a certified trauma healer, intuitive mentor, Reiki master, and author of Journey to Yourself, How to Heal from Trauma. After healing from a harrowing personal history of child molestation, sexual assault, bullying, and rape, Sandra developed a trauma healing approach that helps others release PTSD and triggers with ease. Today, she's here to help us explore what intimacy looks like after trauma and how couples can stop just surviving and start deeply connecting again. Now, Sandra, you've said intimacy after trauma isn't talked about enough. We totally agree. But what drew you to speak about this?
Well, after healing from my own journey and met my husband, I had intimacy issues too. So, which means sometimes we were trying to make love and he just touched me the wrong way and I was in a trigger and I just felt nauseous from his touch, not knowing back then what that was.
Yep.
But now I understand that and I understand my body's reaction, and we don't talk about this because no one likes to talk about sexuality.
Correct.
It's like this subject, and we should really have this conversation at the dinner table. I mean, it's about our own life, our joy, our pleasure. And if there's something holding us back from really surrendering into the sexual act, then this needs to be discussed so we can fix it.
It definitely does. It does. Because if you, excuse me, bottle it up, it's only going to get worse, manifest. So to get out there and openly speak about it. So how often do you hear from people who didn't even realize their intimacy issues were actually trauma related?
Too many.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many people. Most people think, well, this is just how it is. I'm just not good in bed because my ex-boyfriend told me so, as an example. Or they're just like, I don't like to be touched here. I don't like this. This hurts. This makes me uncomfortable. Or I start to feel strange and I'm worried that if I don't give in and have sex with my boyfriend, it's going to leave me and things like that. So I hear this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So look, what was your own healing journey like, and how did it shape the work you do now?
Well, I guess to start with my healing journey, I should probably go a little bit into what happened, very little.
Yep.
And make it brief. And then I can continue on to my journey because it was different than the regular journey. So for me, it started when I was 12. I was molested. At 14, I was sexually harassed. Between the age of 16 and 17, I was bullied in school, almost from the entire class. From the age of 19 to 25, I was sexually assaulted multiple times. When I was 22, I was raped. When I went to see a psychologist about a couple years after I was raped because I didn't like the person I had become, he listened to my story in the intake session and then he dismissed me with the words saying, I believe you already worked through it all. What am I supposed to do?
Wow.
Basically, he was not trauma informed, and just because I wasn't sitting there bawling my eyes out, he thought I had already healed.
Right.
So, and then I hit rock bottom because everybody had deserted me, family, friends, the medical professionals. I was on my own. And when you're hitting rock bottom, you have two choices. You can stay at rock bottom and lead a really miserable life, even though you don't realize it. You're just existing. You're not living when you're at rock bottom.
Yeah.
So, or you can climb back out. Well, I'm stubborn by nature. and I decided I'm not done yet. So I climbed out, and that marked the decision for me to heal. And then there were two moments on my healing journey that really gave me the biggest aha moments that I needed. The first one was a friend of mine. He was very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of the work that I do is very spiritual too, because it works beautifully with releasing trauma, which is how that fits into my journey.
Yeah.
He saw me one day sitting on the couch, like totally defeated, and he had hands on his hips, stern face, and said, "Get a quartz crystal already." And I had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But it's really helped.
Mm.
I did as he asked, and he said I should take the crystal to bed with me and just meditate with it. Well, I didn't know what meditation was, but I took it to bed with me and held it in my hand.
Yeah.
At first I felt nothing, then I started to feel like as if something was circling in my hand. Then I felt as if I couldn't tell where my hand ended and the crystal began. It felt like they were fusing together. So different sensations.
Yep.
And after about 3 months, I started to feel better. I felt lighter. I was more outspoken. I wasn't healed by any means, but something had shifted within me.
Yep.
That was the one aspect. The second one was my last ex-boyfriend before I met my husband. When he broke up with me, he said, matter-of-factly, not mean or anything, he said, "I've just been married to a woman with mental issues. I don't want to be dating one."
Oh, wow.
So, and he really stated a fact. And I'm so grateful for him that he did that, because for the first time I was looking at myself and what I was doing in relationships. And as I looked back at the relationships, I began to realize that I was sabotaging each and every one of them.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen the movie How to Lose a 10 Guy in 10 Days, that was me.
Right.
So, and that really helped me understand what has to happen in order to heal from trauma. You have to go within. You have to look within, because that's where the healing is taking place.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. And yeah,
And that helped me.
If you don't see it, you can't heal yourself, right?
Yeah.
So what your friend did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is
Okay.
most people are afraid. They're afraid to look within.
Yeah. Yep.
They're too terrified of what they may discover.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
And that's usually the biggest issue with anything, really.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Sometimes you don't realize you have that trauma, and that's why we're speaking with you today, to sort of understand the traumas and trigger points and work through that. So
Yeah.
So what made you decide to focus not just on trauma, but on how it impacts sexuality and intimacy?
Well, when I started my healing journey, I came across Reiki,
Yep.
energy healing. And I started having clients, and at the end of it, we always sat there and I made sure they were grounded and not feeling dizzy or anything. And they always started opening up to me about their journey, their trauma, their issues without me initiating it. They just started. And what was fascinating was I knew exactly what they needed to hear. So this is how I got into trauma healing. Then the more I got into trauma healing, the more I noticed how wide range the subject really is. Like, it's not just about the trauma, it's about the limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging behavior, the things that we tell ourselves, the things that we were brought up with. And so it's like, yeah, so what I was doing is more than just trauma healing. I basically helped them transform their whole life in the process. Because whenever I had my clients and we came to a point that was, now what? So we did this, now what? And I don't like that question. So I built something that really, there's no now what left, because we look at everything and release it all and get them back to where they need to go. And that includes the relationships.
Right.
Because when you think about it, there's two people, both come with their own package. They come with their own family trauma, their generational ancestral trauma, that come with their own beliefs, and they're just coming together, have the honeymoon phase, everything is great, and then boom, the triggers start.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is that the triggers are unresolved trauma, usually childhood trauma. And if we can release that, they can build a relationship that is the next level of intimacy, not just the sexual part, but on a personal level, because most relationships are very superficial. Because we're afraid to go deeper. We're afraid to open up. We feel ashamed to talk about our trauma.
Yeah.
So, and if we can empower relationships, then we can empower the whole world. Think about it. If you have children and you raise them from the trauma mindset that was ingrained in you by your parents, grandparents, great grandparents, and so on and so forth. So you pass on the trauma through the generational line. But if you heal, you say this stops with me, and you raise your children empowered.
Wow.
Let's say in 3-4 generations, trauma is obsolete. It doesn't exist anymore because we healed and we raise our children empowered instead of from a trauma mindset.
Yeah, well, that's
Makes sense.
It does make 100%.
You know, we empower people at a day-to-day basis working in an adult store, and we do come across, I've countless, like B1 and myself have come across countless people that have been through trauma, and literally they are quite happy to offload everything on the table to us about what they've gone through. And by all means, we are no therapists. We have no classifications whatsoever. We've just got life skills with our customers walking in the door. Okay. We must have a face on us that says, please speak to us, unload. Yeah. As I said earlier, like, I think we need therapy ourselves. But look, we do sell adult products. You know, sex toys, intimacy toys, they're all a few different names. Do you find that, I guess every situation is different, can they help someone that's been through like a deep trauma? Do you find, because it's
Yes.
like not say non-phallic, it's non-penis looking, if it's that way, do you find that is a way of helping people or couples if they've been through trauma?
Yes, most definitely. One thing that happens when we are being traumatized, we lose our connection with our body. It's like the separation of body and soul. We don't want to feel how it used to feel when we were raped.
Yeah.
We don't want to feel that. And the body remembers. And so instead of healing, we push the body away until we get issues like hives, fibromyalgia, MS, all those things that the body is like, come on, help me already, trying to get your attention. So the first thing that when we're talking about sexuality, it's you need to get reacquainted with your body. And yes, sex toys can help.
Yeah.
Even masturbation. It's like you're reconnecting with your body, you're reconnecting with what feels good.
Yeah.
But then some people have guilt and shame over that because they've been taught by their family that this is how it is. And to get to the point where you're saying something that feels good can't be this bad, it can't be shameful. So getting over the stigma and then learning to love your body again and feel into it. That's important. And yeah, sex toys can most definitely help with that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think also with like the adult products is that you're in control of it too. So if you're not comfortable with that, you stop and you get to learn more about your body and know what the yes and no factors are in it, what does and doesn't feel comfortable. So
Yeah.
I think they play a massive part in any sort of situation, really, from health, mental health, physical health.
A lot. And we're still learning, and we've been there for that many years. But every customer of ours, like every client of yours, we're all different. So we're learning from one to the other to the other.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's one trauma myth you're constantly debunking for your clients?
Well, one thing that I always say is trauma is not a life sentence.
Yeah.
Most people believe that they've been traumatized and now you have to live with it. But this is a trauma mindset we have been raised with because our ancestors couldn't heal either because they didn't know how.
Yeah.
Bringing awareness to it too.
There's not many tools out there now to help.
But it's knowing
Isn't
them
there?
right. right way to go, what track you should be taking to, who to see, who to talk to, what to do.
Yep.
And hence why we're doing this today.
Yep.
Like talking with Sandra. But what are the common root causes for intimacy struggles that are actually linked to past trauma?
Well, there could be many different things. For example, touching or simply feeling uncomfortable, body image are some of them. When sexual assault and rape is in play, then it can be different things. It can be just the thought of it can be very triggering, or just one touch, or just your partner's breathing the wrong way because you remember everything. A trigger is basically coming up when an emotion is there that you felt before and your body says, nope, we don't want to feel like this again. We just felt like this. And so the trigger is coming up to try and protect you.
Yeah.
In a way. And at the same time telling you, well, something needs healing here. So come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
But in the first way to protect you, saying, no, we felt like this before. We don't want to feel this again. This is it. And then the body shuts down. Some people, they feel like they get into a panic attack. Others just feel they can't breathe. Again, others, like me, start to feel really nauseous. So there are different ways. But it's not really the trigger, it's about how the partner reacts that makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, okay. Sort of your body goes into a self-defense mechanism, really, doesn't it? It just shut down or just, yeah. So how do trauma triggers show up in the bedroom? And how can partners recognize them? So, yeah, if there's any triggers there and you're about to be intimate and the partner needs to sort of, I guess, play the role in helping with working out what these triggers are. So what are some of the triggers though?
Well, it could be that the trauma survivor is just completely freezing up, like not doing anything, just being like stiff like a board.
Yeah.
And some people can't even verbalize what this is. They're just saying, no, I don't, no, go away, I can't.
Yeah.
And the important thing is that the partner understands it's not about them.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the first reaction is, okay, what did I just do? First, she's all into it, and now what? What is this?
Yeah.
It's not about them. The trigger we have no control over. For the trauma survivor, it's just as frustrating, if not even more, because we have the added fear of, is he going to leave me now because I'm unable to give him what he needs?
Yeah.
This is the extra load that we put on ourselves without being able to verbalize what's really going on. And maybe we're ashamed of what's going on, or we don't realize that these two things are connected.
Yeah.
So it's important for the partner to understand it's not about them. There is a trigger, hands off.
Yeah.
First thing, because we can help our partners heal their trauma when we keep them in control.
Yeah.
Because trauma happens when we lost our sense of being controlled because someone took that control away from us. There was nothing we could do. Our body was violated. And now we have to regain our sense of being in control. So every time there's a trigger and the partner immediately notices and hands off, no questions asked, gives us the feeling, okay, we're in control. We're safe. We're not going to get attacked anymore. Because that's the trigger. Like you're right back when it happened. The next thing is that the partner just says, okay, let's take a deep breath. Do you want to cuddle, for example? Just be in my arms. Would you feel safe with that?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all that's needed for a trauma survivor to feel safe again. And then the trigger subsides, and then usually you can have beautiful intimacy. Other times the partner says, no, I just need space right now.
Right.
And as the partner understands, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
He can ask, you want to talk about it? I'm here. Just showing them they're supporting and not running in the other direction, finding another partner.
And it's
Right.
actually
So
being
basically,
open to your partner, isn't it? And
Yeah,
honest and
communication.
yes,
communicating with them, saying from the
exactly.
get-go, I guess, too. Otherwise, you're not going to know what's
Mhm.
wrong with your partner if you don't know they've been through some sort of trauma. So absolutely, you got to let them know.
But I think also,
And no one expects that.
yeah, exactly. And also, if you keep doing it just for them because you think you're going to lose them, you're causing more damage to yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And also
So
just making,
communication is
yeah,
key.
it is, isn't it? And we say it a
Mhm.
lot, but it
Yep.
is so true.
Yep.
It's really, really true. Um, how can partners work together to move trauma responses, which you kind of did cover, without turning the bedroom into a therapy session? So as you just explained, it's that cuddle, and it's if you feel comfortable with it, then you
Yes.
just cuddle. So yeah, learning
Mhm.
those sort of triggers and how to combat them, really, isn't it? It's sort of
Mhm.
working again together.
Mm.
Yes. It's little things. It's nothing big. And if partners start to feel comfortable, talk about it. Talk about what you like and what you don't like. Don't leave
Yeah.
your partner guessing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? And then say, okay, I don't like this position. That hurts. Like really be open,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
both of them. And then maybe once they start doing this, they will start talking about their trauma so that the partner can understand more. Because if you can talk to anyone, why not your partner? I mean, this
Yeah.
is your partner and you want to spend hopefully the whole life with him. So who else to talk to?
Yeah.
exactly. It's the best person to talk to
I just think it would find your
Exactly.
intimacy would make it a lot closer too if you were
if you
Yes.
understood.
that
Yeah,
vulnerable with each other too. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Exactly.
Mm.
yeah. Well, what does true, safe, soul-connected intimacy look like after the healing begins?
Well, sexuality is really like you're melting into each other. You're
Yeah,
like in each other's energy field. Your souls are connecting.
Mm.
I like
It's like you both are
Mm.
surrendering into each other,
Yeah.
I like
like
that.
really completely letting go, and you surrender
Yeah,
Mm.
into surrendering something positive. Surrender got such a bad vibe because you surrender and you defeat it, but this is not it. You're surrendering into.
yes,
Yeah.
You're surrendering into each other, complete trust, complete
Yeah.
faith in one another, and this is what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really can work with your partner to heal whatever needs healing, you surrender more and more. I notice this with me and my husband too. In the beginning, it was very, no, I don't want this. No, I don't like that. And now it's more, it's like a dance,
Yeah.
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're flowing and you're trying new things and you're letting go. And for women, it's very difficult to let go,
Mm.
especially because of the ancestral aspect and how women were treated throughout the ages. And we carry this fear with us.
mhm,
So, really being able to surrender this fear that we've been carrying on through the generations, through our past lives and everything, through history,
Mm-hmm.
letting go and really surrendering into our partner, that takes time and effort from both
it
Mm.
does.
to
Yeah.
feel really safe and really let go. And
It really
but
does.
it can be done.
Yeah, well, that's it, and that's what people need to know. It can be done.
Yeah.
It's up to
Yes.
communication, as we always say, but and your partner. I've got an amazing partner of 25 years in November. He'll be very impressed. I remember. It's usually the women that remember anyway,
Yeah.
but he's Mr. Dates. He knows every date of everything and time, and it's amazing. But he is an amazing person too. So it's finding that partner that is going to work with you also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't stick around if you feel that they're not going to. I shouldn't probably say that, I don't know. But if they're not going to communicate or listen and work with you, then you're better off going to an adult store and getting it. I'm kidding. But
No, you're actually not kidding.
well, no. You still need to connect with yourself, but
Absolutely.
having that connection with your partner is the key.
Excellent. I've got a wardrobe full of partners then.
Bedroom. Spare bedroom.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so truth or nah here, Sandra. You can't truly enjoy sex until you feel safe in your body.
True.
Yep.
100% true.
Yeah. Okay. So, truth or nah, most people don't even realize they're triggered during intimacy. They just think they're not in the mood.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay. So, I just want to know what's really happening. So, the sudden shutdown mid intimacy, what's that mean?
Well, if it's shut down mid-intimacy, then there is a trigger. Then a touch, a breath, a word, anything. It doesn't matter what triggered it, but we have no control over triggers. So the partner shuts down, there's a reason. And the reason is not that I'm suddenly not in the mood anymore, or that I'm suddenly disgusted by their partner because I looked at them like, ew, no. No, there is a
Sometimes you
trigger,
might
and the
know,
thing is
wouldn't you?
it's called triggers for a reason.
Mm.
Because once the trigger's coming up, you cannot stop it. You have no control over it.
No, you can't. You don't.
Yeah.
No.
So, well, what's really happening, and this is something that has come up in at work with me in the adult store, tears during or after sex. What's that about?
What was
It
that? I
can
didn't
mean
get that.
like having tears during sex or during intimacy or even afterwards, like your whole body just literally breaks down in tears. Can that be a happy thing, or could that be a release of something good or bad?
Trauma.
That's a release thing. Yes.
Yeah.
If crying just happens right after,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's a release thing. Something was released during sex, which means that it must have touched a part within our soul, within our body and mind
Mm-hmm.
that was ready to release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a good
And
thing.
that then came up, and tears is the best way to release because it just catapults the emotions and the triggers out of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so people, if you cry, don't be upset about it.
It's actually releasing,
It's
Unless
releasing.
getting things out, unless.
unless there's a limiting belief attached that, for example, sex is something bad or something they feel ashamed after it. This is a different story.
Yeah.
So it depends on what's going on within the person, how they perceive sexuality, and if they feel that they shouldn't have it, or it really depends. Usually I
Yeah.
would say yes, it triggers being released, but then they may also like doing self-punishment, for example.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yep.
that could also be.
All right. So, what's happening in this instance? Avoidance of touch or eye contact.
Well, a lot of things can happen, can be the cause of that.
Mm.
Usually, not no eye contact means they're feeling ashamed or guilty or uncomfortable and not wanting touch. Usually, that's coming from sexual assault and rape.
Mm.
When you don't want to be touched, then there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because as humans, we love hugs. Hugs are healing. But if someone avoids touch, that is very deep trauma.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And what about getting stuck in people pleasing mode?
Ooh, that's a good one. People pleasing is usually coming from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
When we see that helping our mother or our father gives us a smile, that's already the start of that. So, or when they only reward us when we're helpful and not just because we're their children.
Yeah.
So things like that is usually the beginning of people pleasing.
Okay.
Then let's say you have a narcissistic parent. You only get rewarded when you do exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this sets the stage for future partners because it says doing something for them equals love. You only get love when you do something for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that leads into people pleasing because then when we're adults, we're afraid of losing people if we don't do what they want because that's how it was our whole life.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
That
sense.
too can be healed.
Yeah. How do you suggest healing that sort of way?
Boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Setting boundaries with yourself, setting boundaries with others, and getting comfortable with saying no.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, yeah, learn to say no.
Yes.
Think
Because
about
when you
it.
think about it, yeah, think about it logically. What's the worst thing that could happen if you say no?
Yeah.
There is no war going to break out. The world is not going to end.
Mm,
Somebody may be upset because you set a boundary. So what?
yeah.
It's their issue and not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So first you need to realize that you actually are people pleasing. And realizing that can be a bit tough because you're so used to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Most people don't see what they're doing as people pleasing.
Okay.
And you're
They
not a
put
nasty
themselves
person if you
automatic.
say no.
Yeah.
You're not being a bitch
Yeah.
or a mole.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Bringing it all out.
Well, yeah, it's not you turning a because they're used to you saying yes all the time. All of a sudden they're going, oh, B2 or Kelly, oh, she's saying no for a change. What's going on there?
She says no to me a lot.
Mhm.
Really does upset me.
Well, so what's happening when overperforming or disassociating during sex? Overperform.
Feeling of not being good enough,
Mm,
feeling of not being worthy enough, having to overgive, overperform
yeah.
because they don't believe in themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's
So it could be from previous sexual partners who were saying that they are not good in bed or laughing or
Mm,
anything like that. So basically, not having any faith in themselves, not believing in themselves.
okay. So
That's what
just
this
out
is.
of left field right now or right field, what's that? Is it left field? Left field. Um, if you were an adult toy product, what would you be? Could you pick something off a shelf and that would be you? Mine's changing daily
Yeah,
now.
I think I would be those little beads on a string
Oh,
Okay, explain.
because I
okay.
like the anticipation.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yes. Just yeah, and how you've explained that, the anticipation
Yeah, and every time I walk past them in the store, I'm going to think, oh,
of
there you go.
Sandra.
No, I won't, I promise.
Yeah, you will.
I think you
Next
can
week.
no.
Oh dear.
What would you say to someone who feels broken when it comes to physical intimacy?
You're not broken.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell my clients you're temporarily misaligned.
Mm.
That's good.
You got
So
some good words
it's
here,
all,
Sandra.
Some good lines.
thank you.
Yeah, temporarily misaligned.
Huh.
That's what you are.
That's what I am. Thanks, BJ. For couples navigating this, what's the first step to rebuilding trust and safety together?
Communication.
Yeah.
Get uncomfortable with telling your truth. Get
Yeah.
uncomfortable really knowing each other on the deepest level.
Mm.
Whether
This
it's
is so rewarding.
yeah, well, that's it. Even as you said before, even at the dinner table, in the bedroom, sort of a comfort dinner table. That way, you probably don't feel as intimidated to be having to do something that you don't want to do. At the
Yeah.
dinner table, you're sort of thinking, okay,
Yeah.
this is just talk, and we need to do that communication.
Mm.
True, but if you are, yeah, but it's only true when you have a superficial relationship.
Yeah, right.
When you already start communicating and you realize you're triggered and you talk about your trigger, that's what my husband and I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still get triggered by something, and once I figure it out, I talk to him about it after I snapped. So to explain to him what just happened,
Yeah.
that he understands, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's the little things that really helps, even after 21 years of marriage, still going deeper into our relationship and understanding each other more.
Yeah.
You do though.
And it's really helpful.
Yeah, and as you sort of uh, you live your journey longer with your partner, you sort of delve in a lot more, and you're constantly learning.
Yeah,
So
Mm.
from the start of
exactly.
a new relationship, you learn all the way through. And I think as it gets longer in your relationship, I hope he's listening out there, it just gets better and better with communication.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Well, where can people find your book, your work, and connect with your healing programs?
People can find me on my website, riseaboveyourstory.com.
Mm-hmm.
I offer free consultation. Just click the first button you see, and then we can talk and see if you feel comfortable with me, because that's the most important thing, that you feel comfortable with the person you're going to trauma healing with.
Yeah.
And my book is on Amazon. Since it's not a bestseller, I would suggest looking for my name. You get to my book much faster than if you look for the title.
Mm-hmm.
But the title is Journey to Yourself, How to Heal from Trauma, written by someone who did.
Perfect.
Would be.
Perfect. So I've got a shocking throat this morning. Look, Sandra, you've said some awesome lines through our interview that we've interviewed quite a few people, and there's been a lot that we've gone, we can use that at work too. Not that, as we said, we're not qualified, but to help with
Just
them
helps us with our clientele and our customers, not
Yeah.
clientele, our customers.
And who says you're not qualified? I'm not a PhD. I'm not a therapist. I'm a healer. Trauma to me just makes sense. And that's how I work.
Yep.
So who says you're not qualified?
Well, that's
hands-on experience. Come on.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, Sandra, thank you for turning pain into purpose. We really do thank you, and helping us all feel a little less alone in the journey back to connection. So really hope people really listen to this and start learning to say no, start to find your triggers and working through them.
Communicate. So if this episode gave you permission to breathe deeper, feel more, or finally say, this matters, go and hit follow. Leave us a 5-star review. We're really good. We like to get to the core of things here. And remember, pleasure after trauma is possible. Thank you again, Sandra. We appreciate your time over the weekend. And we wish you all the best. It's been amazing speaking to you this morning.
It really has. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks.